Hello, hello, happy crafters. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day, and hopefully you guys are able to stay cool, because even though the summer is ending, it is hot, hot, hot. Muy caliente, my friends. Muy caliente. Ooh wee. Honestly, it's unbearable. And so that's what you guys haven't been seeing me doing too many projects, because as much as I wanted to kick off my resin projects for this month, we've still had quite a few number of extremely hot days, and I'm hoping that it cools down. So I'm trying to record here and there whenever I get like these little these little patches, right, these little breaks of heat, and I can actually stand being in my craft room. And so without getting too much into that, let's get more into this. So you guys, I am a brand ambassador for Total Boat, and so they've sent me this kit for tabletop epoxy resin, and I was a little skeptical about it at first because, you know, I don't have the degassing chamber. I don't really have like those gadgets in order to release the air bubbles, and sometimes with resin, that is like the biggest thing that you struggle with, is getting the air bubbles. It's like it's hard enough to sometimes mix it just right, and then you get these air bubbles and you think that you've got them all out, and then boom, there goes another one mysteriously appearing. And so it's still somewhat of a little bit of a struggle here and there. However, I would like to say that I did have an awesome time working with this, okay? Now, I didn't get a chance to, like I said, truly record the process because it was on and off, and it was just too unbearable, and I didn't want to leave gaps that you guys was going to be like, what the heck happened there? What did she do? So I just kind of, you know, didn't put the whole thing. Now, I do have some bits and pieces, some clips of the actual process, so I might insert these in the picture so you won't see, you're going to see it probably somewhere in the corner of the video, you know, me actually mixing all of these things together and getting these things done. I'll try to salvage some clips to share with you guys, so that in conjunction with me working on the tassel, which I'm going to be working today, the tassel dangle charm, however you guys would like to call it, you're also going to see a little bit of the process for how I went about working with the Total Boat epoxy. So let me just give you guys a few little some info real quick before I get into the project for today. So I did try to make these mermaid tails twice, okay? The first time that I did it, you know, it was like a nightmare come true. When I woke up the next day, it was full of bubbles, to the point that you couldn't even see the glitter. But again, that was user error. 9 times out of 10 is usually user error, you guys. With a resin like this, you do have to go very slowly as you go mixing in the two parts. You know, you have to keep the stick or your spinning your mixing tool inside of the resin at all times. Don't take it out to put it back in. You know, don't lift and flip. You know, we're not making bread. And basically that's how I kind of treated it the first time, and that was a huge user error on my part. But I didn't give up, because I'm like, this is not the resin. I know that this is not the resin. This has to be me. And so I did it again, and the second time around they came out beautifully. No bubbles, none of that. So now that I've figured that out, I do have some molds that I am going to be working on, and I'm going to be playing with. I just didn't want to, you know, dedicate all that time to making a video only to have to trash it the next day because it was, you know, full of bubbles. And so hopefully my upcoming projects with the Total Boat resin is going to come out fantastical, and I'll be sharing those with you guys sometime during this month, as soon as it cools down a little bit and I can actually bear to be here. So let's get to what we're going to be here to do today. Again, I will insert clips of the process here and there for how I went about making these. I tried to get as much footage in there as possible, but again, you know, without having the longest video in the world. But I did want to share with you guys what it did kind of finally look like, and I really like how it came out. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in here. I have some of the sequence trim that I received from Liana. I was able to clip those in there, and again, you guys are going to see how I put the whole thing together, like the whole assembly of it. We have here some mermaid resin pieces that I created using Total Boat, as well as UV resin for the top coat. And I really like how it came out. I'm not sure I'm going to do something else to the tails, because I think the body's already really, really glittery. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just add like a little bit of bling around the base of the tail or something. So just give it like that final touch. This is what's holding it up. This is the top piece there. And it's got a lot of stuff going on in here. We have charms everywhere. We have dangle pieces. Some beading that I did. Again, it's just a plethora here of resin charms, metal charms. We have beads. I even added this little crystal in there. There's just a lot going on in here, and this is going to go with the banner. So one lucky winner is going to receive both the banner piece as well as this fatty mermaid tail tassel. And you know, I figured mermaids collect anything that falls, right? Everything that falls to the ocean floor or anything that they can get their little hands on, they're gonna go ahead and collect, right? Just like Ariel did. And so this is kind of like Ariel's collection, if you will. Although the mermaid is not quite Ariel, but this is kind of like Ariel's collection of just trinkets and things and trims and fibers. And we have some magical mix restore fibers going on in here, and trims, as well as some of my own from my own personal stash. And I cut a whole bunch of stuff out. Originally I had some blue in here and I took those out, but again, you know, as you start assembling it and putting it together, you kind of have to decide what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, and what looks good with what, because not all colors kind of go together well. But we do have a little bit of lavender, a little bit of gold, a little bit of pink, some white, like this peachy pink color here, some pink tulle, some rickrack, some shiny rickrack. I try to, you know, make it shine as much as possible. I also found this in my stash, this trim right here with all these sequins, little flowers on them, and I thought that was cute, so I added those in there as well as some fun fibers. Again, this is from the Magical Mixery store. This is from Magical Mixery. These are from Magical Mixery. There's a whole bunch of pieces here from that shop. Again, Sarah is super, super awesome. I love, love, love all the different things that she's got going on in there, and her prices are really, really good, you guys. So if you're crafting on a budget, then definitely make sure that you check them out. You'll get a lot of awesome things for a really nice price. I'm always crafting on a budget, you guys. So I just wanted to show you guys really, really quickly what this kind of looks like. And yay, this is my tassel. But let's go ahead and talk about these real quick. So you guys, these are the actual mermaid tails. See how beautiful and clear. You can see all of the beautiful glitters inside. And I'm hoping that my camera will pick it up nicely, since it is very, very glittery. Let me see. There we go. So you guys can see all of that beautiful sparkle. Now I did go over it with clear UV resin, because I did want to add just a little bit more sparkles on the outside, but I left the tail as it was, and I basically colored this with pigment powders that I inlaid directly into the mold. So I brushed the color into the mold, and then I casted the resin into it. So that's one of them, and then I just screwed on these little pins in the top so that I can add a little hook to it. And then this is the other one. Not even really focusing right here. This is the other one. But you can see how pretty, and you could hardly see any bubbles on here. I don't even think I got any on. One of them I know I did, because those were the ones that I did the first time, and then I just kind of went over them. Because you're not going to waste resin, my friends. We're going to work around it. And there's always a way to fix it, or at least embellish it and hide it, right? And so that's that one. And then this one here, I believe, if you can see how kind of like opaque it is. And the inside, this is the one that got kind of messed up. Again, this was full of so much bubbles that I couldn't handle it. So I did kind of go over the top with UV resin and glitter to cover it up. And then again, I just added a little bit of glitter here and there along the top. And now I can deal with it. And honestly, you guys, the camera really doesn't do it justice for how pretty it really looks. And then with this one, because I didn't want to cast more resin, because again, I have other projects that I do want to work on, and I didn't want to waste it all on making mermaid tails. And so this one had a little bit left over, so what I did is I kind of looped it. I looped it over, and then I sealed it in with UV resin. So now I have kind of like this really cool chain part. This is going to be the top of the tassel. I thought that would be perfect for the top of the tassel. And so that's what I'm going to use it for. Let me go ahead and bring my focus back down so I can break this down. So this is what they look like. Again, this is going to be the top, and then I'm going to have these kind of hanging off, you know, here and there. And this is going to be quite a chunky, you know, tassel, if you will. This is going to be a tassel dangle. Not sure yet. We'll see what ends up actually coming out of it all. And I left this little chain here so that I can kind of start hooking everything up. And then here I just kind of started collecting some of the different trims and stuff that I'm going to be using. Some of these trims come from the Magical Mixery store on Etsy. I will try to remember to leave a link to their shop down below. They're an awesome shop. The owner is extremely nice, you guys. She's super helpful, and if you have any questions or concerns, she will answer you right away. And I got a lot of these trims from her. All of the ones that you see kind of wrapped up in these pretty little things I got from her. So we're going to be adding a few of the things that I got in here. And then I went in my stash and gathered a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to pull everything out. And we're going to try to figure this out. I also picked out some pink tulle to kind of fluff it out and give it some, you know, some abundance. And so I'm going to be kind of putting this thing together, you guys. So most likely for the remainder of this video, while I go ahead and get my stuff sorted out, you guys are going to hear music and it's going to be sped up. I'm going to separate all of my different trims that I've gathered and see what works, see what doesn't work, and see how I feel about things. I also have some charms here that I picked up from Amazon. I was inspired by my beautiful friends Ada to check these out, because she sent some of these to me in the entry that she made for my giveaway, and I just needed to have this, so I went and I got some. So we're going to be adding quite a few of those as well. I've got here some of these little rings, and then I got some light bulb pins that I'm going to be using to kind of, you know, add all of these little different items together and attach them to the different fibers and trims. I also received some sequence trim from Leanna that I think I'm going to try to incorporate. At least this blue one here, this like turquoise one. So I'm going to be adding some UV resin on the ends and trying to see how I can make it so that it doesn't fall apart. So we're going to run that and see if that works out. I've got my UV resin here on the side. And without further ado, you guys, let's get started. Let's get this baby going.